Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl, the Stone on Season 5, Episode 5, titled Dangerous Liaisons. And in the last one, In Plain Sight, we had Kara and Nia kind of going on their own little Watson and Holmes and Watson, Holmes and Watson kind of dynamic to investigate William Day a little bit further, and we found out some interesting stuff by the end of the episode, including that he wasn't really as much of a jerk as he was pretending to be. He was really just sort of undercover and investigating Andrea Rojas herself and trying to uncover years long criminal kind of conspiracy theories under her name, and like other people were involved with it as well. Like Sergio Ramos was like an Interpol agent undercover, and then Elena something Elena Torres, I think. Yeah, Elena Torres. Her death was faked to try and save her from an actual potential assassination attempt. So he is doing his own thing, but his own thing also includes being an arsehole to other people to kind of maintain his cover and stuff like that, so that he can actually get the work done alone. But then Kara went to his apartment and actually managed to uncover his whole little pinboard of like connections and all that sort of stuff. So that is apparently what he's doing. I don't really buy into it fully. I think he does still have something darker under his sleeve. I think he's just like did this sudden nice guy reveal itself, I think, is also just an act. But I mean, hey, he's got more time. We're just about a few episodes into the season, so he's got more time to unleash anything else or prove himself properly. But I do hope that, Kara doesn't immediately, I mean, knowing Kara, she's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I hope she doesn't go too far with giving him the benefit of the doubt and basically just kind of, just wait for him to further prove this so-called kind of innocence of his, and see where his investigation actually leads and what kind of leads he follows up on. But that's William Day. We had Kelly and James outside of National City going back home to Calvin Town to their aunt's house, but finding out that the town they grew up in is not really much of a nice town anymore, and it's mainly because of the prison, like the corruption running through the town because of the prison. Like the people who commit much smaller crimes are being given much longer sentences, and then that gives the people running the prison all the more money. So people are being locked up for the simplest things, and they're losing their loved ones and their friends and all that sort of stuff. And then we met Simon Kirby, I believe his name was, whose mother was locked up for like stealing like a portable heater or something, and then she was given 10 years and stuff like that. So people are losing other people. Everyone's too afraid to speak up in case they get locked up too, or if they lose people close to them. So James, upon realizing this, realized that he no longer has, in his eyes, he no longer has a future in National City. He quit his job at Catco, and he's not really that into like all the other job offers he's been getting. So the one thing he can do, where he's actually helping people and doing something right, is to publish, is to buy the Calvin Town Gazette and publish his own stories and help bring down the corruption in the prison system and actually help people that way. So that is the so he left at the end of the last episode. He announced that he was leaving National City. So I don't know if that means we're not going to see him anymore, because we did see him in his new office at the Calvin Town Gazette. So I don't know if that means like we're going to see him every now and then, or if he's just going to be making far less appearances than usual. But either way, he is moving on with his life. So that's Jamie Boy. That's Jimmy Boy Olsen, off to craft his own future. But now the Malefic thing is over, so Kelly is back in National City, into the cuddly arms of the woman she loves, and back into Netflix and cuddling. So that's that. But yeah, speaking of Malefic, we had more of James actually. Jean actually confronting Malefic and being like forced to confront his own kind of fears of what he did to Malefic and like what he did to make Malefic who he is. But in the end, Malefic didn't really budge. He there were too many years of kind of pent up rage and vengeance and hurt in him to actually make him turn back now. So like no amount of apologies or love would have turned him back anyway. So they fixed up the using Lena's help. They actually fixed up the Phantom Zone projector thingy. But then Lena Luthor had some plans of her own. She hijacked the tech behind the Phantom Zone projector, and like knowing that Malefic had mind control abilities, she figured she could use that to fix, like to further work on her kind of Project Do No Harm tech, to try and actually implant those kinds of commands onto the mind. So she hijacked the projector to teleport Malefic into her lab instead of straight into the Phantom Zone. So now she's going to use Malefic for her own nefarious affairs, and I am very, very worried about her. I don't know where this is all going to lead her. Like, I honestly have no idea. Like what her end game is. Truly, I think Project Do No Harm. It's all just spawned from her pain. So the sooner someone finds out about this, and the sooner, like, I mean, she's good at hiding how she truly feels. She's good at hiding that sort of stuff. So it's not going to be easy for anyone else to actually find out. But the sooner someone does, and the sooner someone tries to shut this down and actually talk to her, and also the sooner, I mean, this is far less likely, but the sooner Lena actually allows herself to confront her own feelings and actually, confront Supergirl about how she really feels, then the sooner, this doesn't really spin out of control, and she doesn't actually create an army of mindless zombies that don't care about hurting people. So yeah, but that's pretty much all I have from the last one. So episode 5, Dangerous Liaisons. Let's go.
First he's linked to the death of Dr. Jared, then to whatever covert action happened.
She hasn't told her what he told her.
Hard to believe there's no connection.
I know. I guess we were just looking for connections where
Kara.
I mean, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with Dr. Jared, and then Mexico City was just
William.
Mexico pageant.
Oh, she's hiding it from Nia, and she's texting William. What you playing at here, Kara? What you playing at?
I want to get Alex a gift for our date-anniversary, and I could really use your help.
Shadel XG1000 motorcycle helmet in small matte black.
Oh, that is.
That sounds
specific.
very
So is
Alex.
Alex's Pinterest page.
Yeah, that sounds very Alexy, like a
Meeting
motorcycle
Alex
jacket.
is one of the best
Very
things that's
Alexy.
happened to me since moving to National City.
He had 4 arms.
4 arms?
Like this?
More like a Dr. Octopus?
Yeah, that's him. His code name's Riproar. When did I see him?
Riproar. Port Summit. Oh, well, they're gonna find out stuff's missing. Is that what's gonna happen?
Hold it.
Nope.
Set the case down.
Oh, wait, is this Riproar?
Turn around.
Is this Riproar? I recognize that helmet. This is Riproar, isn't it? This has to be Riproar. How many of them? Oh, damn, yeah, they're Dr. Octopus in this. They are Dr. Octopus in this. And killing. I mean, I'm not surprised, but yeah, killing.
But the last time someone showed interest in my brain, the High Council sent me to the Phantom Zone.
You'd be back in the Phantom Zone if it wasn't for me.
And yet, now we're at an impasse.
Well, they shunned your abilities. Lena wants to work with them. That's the difference.
If you remove the barrier in my brain so I can kill my brother,
I will give you access to my mind.
It is my mission to stop people from hurting each other. I will not kill.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that would contradict her
You've
goal.
gone to extreme measures to bring me here.
That's...
you are at the precipice.
Yeah, but she hasn't tried to cause any physical harm in doing so, though.
I know.
Besides from knocking Eve out.
Pop quiz hotshot.
Wait, so Brainy's the host to this spider thing?
Brainy?
Whoa! Is this the best idea? Is this really the best idea?
You don't care about all those people you killed.
I highly doubt it.
Hey, it's Brainy.
Not right now, I don't think. I mean, you're looking at Brainy, but it's not Brainy that's talking.
Quiz hotshot.
Did it work?
So that's his keyword then, pop quiz hotshot, to shut him down and bring whatever's on the inside out.
This is getting way bigger than we thought.
I know everything you're saying makes sense, but I have this gut feeling that Andrea's up to something big.
Why, because William told you? She's proven nothing to you, you don't know what her history is.
I was almost too late.
Do what Lex Luthor failed to do.
The marathon laser?
Change the world.
Wait, he's working with the Leviathan? Okay, I mean, somehow that doesn't really surprise me, but yeah. Damn.
I had my first patient success story.
That's great.
He was having nightmares for over a year, and with VR therapy, they stopped. That's amazing. Oh, and
she's putting her experience in like PTSD treatment to good use with this stuff.
virtual, I can bring the lenses to dinner.
In a nook or cranny or under the floor or something?
Yeah, she definitely seems like the woman with secret compartments and stuff like that. You know, you just rotate like a little ornament or something. Yep, see, a vault. A secret vault, of course.
Hang on. Isn't that
Okay,
Russell?
yeah, this is all setting my anxiety off. This is all really setting my anxiety off.
They wouldn't just knew each other.
They were in love.
According to Russell, the last time I saw him.
They were together, weren't they?
Stop! Where's Russell?
Dead.
Whoa! Oh, great! Yep, going up against a professional killer. That's always the best. That's always the best choice.
And I know you killed Russell Rogers.
You know nothing.
Wait, is he?
Out of your depths.
Could he be Russell Rogers? Just putting on an accent. He's got the facial hair for it. Yeah, I think Russell had like a little mustache and a goatee thingy. Slash a beard. Oh crap! Slash a beard. Oh, she was hit by the laser.
You mean he's still alive?
Possibly. I'm still looking.
I'm calling it. He is Rip Raw. Russell Rogers is Rip Raw. Has to be. I'm calling it. Is that a dragon? Is that a teeny tiny dragon? Well, not so much teeny tiny, but that's a dragon.
And I was right over an Antarctic lake with a weapon designed to fire a beam 100 times hotter.
He's gonna melt the ice. He's gonna melt that ice down.
A hot time in the old town tonight.
I don't really think anyone says that anymore, but wow, he's actually gonna melt the ice.
Melt the ice cap around Lake Vostok?
It would unleash a flood unseen since the time of Noah's Ark.
Damn. They're really bringing climate change into this in the most sci-fi way possible. Oh snap. Unmask him. Unmask him. Unmask him. I bet you Russell Rogers is under that mask.
I did find something. His name is Russell Rogers.
Oh no 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 no.
Photo, Andrea.
No, no, dude, William, don't do this, William.
What did you do with him? I know about you and your
William, don't do this. This is the wrong move.
corruption, theft, murder.
Oh, William, don't do this. Not now.
Because I am going to destroy you.
William.
Oh, all in his head. All in his head. Okay, so that was his way of unleashing his stress. Okay, you know what? That's actually good. That's actually acceptable. That's acceptable. You know, he was just unleashing his stress within the VR. That's good. Just like Lena was doing with punching Supergirl the fuck out. Hey, Dreamer. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How's this gonna work? Can she use her dream waves to, like, actually block that stuff? Is that a thing? I ask it during a sci-fi show. Anything's possible in sci-fi, as long as you can use big words to explain it. Oh, that was good. Oh, that's good. That's a smart move. Yeah, come on, Nia. You got this. You got this. Come on. That's it. Dream those waves out of existence. That's my girl. That a girl. Yeah. She took down a tidal wave. Yeah. She took down a tidal wave. Oh. That is a damn superhero. Oh, Kelly. No, she's fine. Alex is gonna be fine. Come on, Alex is gonna be fine. It's okay.
My fiance died fighting on the front lines. And I never got over it.
She can't afford to lose two lovers in one lifetime.
Well, it sounds to me like you could use a friend. Do you want to grab lunch sometime and talk?
I'd like that.
Yeah, this is a friendship I'd like to see. Yeah, Ozzy and I know Ozzy and Nicola's already a friendship, but yeah, like Kelly and Nia, that would be a cool friendship.
You like it here, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, she's controlling him. She's controlling Malefic. Oh damn! Well, you know what? I had a hunch she would never go through with that thing, because again, that would go against her bigger endgame, but this, mind controlling Malefic, that is something I didn't call. Wow.
You look beautiful. Well,
I'll say.
Wear your favorite color.
Yeah, damn.
Oh, that's okay. This isn't our real date-iversary, so when it is,
Her hair looks amazing.
to me then.
I always wondered how you get hair like that short to style it up, but she pulls it off. A helmet.
Okay, open.
Oh, to ride with her. A helmet.
So you can be my writing partner.
Nice.
The DEO caught Rip Roar.
It's Russell.
To ID him.
It's Russell.
It's Russell.
It's Russell. I figured it. I called that shit.
It's not possible. You know I didn't want you involved in this, but I don't know how I would have done it without you.
Oh, she helps people. That's what she does.
Thank you.
And what exactly is it that you do, Andrea?
Done yourself with those contact lenses. I hear they're as omnipresent as one of our plagues.
She's working with Leviathan?
You yesterday?
Leviathan is everywhere. And now a problem has come up, and we need you to fix it.
She's working with Leviathan. Damn, okay, so Leviathan is the big bad here then, not even Andrea exclusively. Leviathan is the real villain. They're the ones recruiting other people and then having those people recruit other people. It's just a cycle of recruiting that all leads back to Leviathan. Damn. God damn. Okay, so yeah, I mean the Rip Roar stuff. I mean, I called. I mean, about halfway through, it kind of felt like the obvious twist that they were going for. Like, oh, like I mean, because for one thing, you know, soon after coming into contact with Andrea, Russell is taken off the map, and for another thing, after being killed by a supposedly professional killer, his body is then nowhere to be found either. And like, it's a fair point, professional killers don't usually leave behind evidence, like especially if the body that they've just killed is gonna be able to lead back to them. Because usually if they're professional, like I mean, you know, like yeah, a lot of the time they want to hide the fact that they even did any killing in the first place. They want to just mask the person as missing or something until people finally give up the search and then say, oh, they're probably dead anyway. But in this case, it felt like those two things, those two events, like him meeting Andrea and then immediately being killed but then never being found, felt too convenient for that to fit in. And then Rip Roar, like again, he had that kind of like the bottom half of his face was visible through his kind of attire, so like the facial hair especially, I kind of recognize that seeing it off Russell, and it all matched up. So Rip Roar is actually Russell, and I figure it's a brainwashed Russell. I figure it is a brainwashed Russell Rogers, trained to do whatever Leviathan wants him to do. So yeah, so that's why I think with Leviathan, given how sinister and kind of secretive and kind of like how big they seem, it seems that they would have the necessary resources to make sure that their operatives have the right protocols in place in case they get captured, like Rip Roar did. So in terms of interrogation, like their brainwashing goes so deep that they know the information they need in the moment, but they also know not to give it away, or they have some. They said that like with Rip Roar brain, he said that his suit was biologically enhanced into him as a whole. So you know, like there was nothing in him that they themselves were going to get out. So goes to show how much deeper the hardwiring runs, and the fact that he can retain information but also retain it to the level that he doesn't really let it get out, even with a truth seeker in place. So that means Leviathan must be pretty damn advanced. But yeah, so he is Rip Roar, and just 2 extra arms with the addition of the 2 human arms, so that is how the 4 arms comes into play. I thought they were going to put a legitimate Dr. Octopus and just have 2 coming at the top and then 2 coming at the bottom, but no, it's just two more mechanical ones. And they actually do look like Dr. Octopus's arm, like they're like with the thick kind of metal tubing, and then they've got the little claws at the end and all that sort of stuff, so that's that. But I do wonder, I do wonder if that was the whole point of them two having met in the first place. If Andrea did, I mean, we don't really know Russell's history that much, besides from the fact that he was the best friend to William Day. But what his history like what his occupation was, what his career was, like if he had any kind of role in maybe the military or in law enforcement, if he had special skills involving combat or something, like if there was anything about him that made him an especially effective kind of combatant or killer or something, that Andrea was maybe tasked by Leviathan finding more people or finding someone new, and then she came across him, and then she set up a meeting with him as on the front of a date, and then abducted him, turned him into Rip-Raw, and then had Rip-Raw fake Russell Rogers' death and to try and cover that whole thing up. So maybe she was recruiting him as a killer, because I don't know if this was back when they already had Catherine O'Connor and Breathtaker. Breathtaker herself doesn't really seem anyone too combative. I mean, she has superpowers. She has the ability to actually take your breath and intake air and also exert it at a rapid pace. So she has that. Catherine O'Connor, she had the spider powers thingy, but now she's off the map. It's just the spider that possesses you now, which possessed Brainy, so that was an exceptional acting job done by Jesse Rath, actually bringing out the spider in him through the words. What was it again? Like hot shot pop quiz, or like hot take pop quiz? I think something. It was. He's become an avid fan of, or a very, very enthusiastic fan of Keanu Reeves. So something from one of his movies. I mean, the only Keanu Reeves movies I've seen are Speed, the Matrix movies, and the John Wick duology. I've yet to see Chapter 3, but I've seen the first two John Wick movies. I've yet to see Chapter 3. But yeah, those are the only ones I actually remember seeing. I don't know he's done Bill and Ted. He's doing a new Bill and Ted, but I haven't watched the originals yet. And I think he's done a bunch of other stuff. I think yeah, he's done a bunch of other things which I'm sure are just as good. But I mean, even Jesse, as Brainy, even like without the facial hair, he looks like a young. To be honest, with or without facial hair, Jesse Rath himself looks like a young Keanu Reeves. Like, yeah, she does genuinely pass. So, I mean, I don't know if the Keanu Reeves, fanboyism was coincidental, or if they actually kind of integrated that aspect of of Jesse's appreciation of the guy into the show. Either way, it's cool to see, and they actually incorporated that as a safe word. So that's why he said to shut down and to bring the spider thingy out, and then to shut the spider thingy down and then bring Brainy back out again. So that was cool. So that was that. We had Lena. She was very sneaky with Malefic. She was very, very sneaky with Malefic, and I think I will say I figured at first I was like, wait, but that wouldn't be very Lena-like, and also that would kind of contradict her end game, like her whole end plan, like the fact that he made her a deal, like, oh, you help me kill Jean and you'll have access to my mind, but then she would be aiding and abetting in actually not only a crime but also allowing you to do something that would actually mess with her plans. Like you'd be doing the very thing that that she is currently attempting to forbid. Like, she's trying to make it so that people can't hurt each other. So letting you hurt someone else in order to reach that goal would be taking a few steps back before you, and then going on to take one step forward. So at the beginning, I was like, but surely Lena wouldn't actually even think about that, right? Like, surely she's trying to come up with a better solution. But no, Malefic, how deep the vengeance ran through his mind and through his blood, like he would not be willing to cut any other kind of deal. So I was like, so then halfway through I was like, Lena might actually have something going on in the back of her mind. Like, she might not actually go through with this. She might trick him into something. It doesn't sound like something she'd let happen just for the sake of progressing through her experiment, through her science project. Like, it's like she wouldn't just allow one person to die just so that she can get closer to stopping anyone from killing anyone. She would maintain that mindset of, like, you know, oh, the end goal, the end game of this plan is to stop people from hurting each other. So throughout this entire, like, project, I'm not gonna, like, allow anyone else to be hurt in any way, in order to most effectively get to what the end goal is. So by the end of it, her tricking Malefic into doing it, like her saying, like, you know, oh, I never actually like released your mental block or anything like that. I literally just wanted to get your Q-wave frequency out. So yeah, so now she's controlling Malefic as well. She's keeping him, like, kind of like she is like effectively keeping him prisoner, or keeping him captive in her own lab. So I don't even. I mean, I would say, like, that she's invading his mind, but I mean, that's just the elephant in the room. But yeah, and I think the science behind that, though, is actually kind of interesting. Like even the way he mentioned it, like so like him being able to mind control others and like make his thoughts other people's thoughts as well, has been like a cross that he's had to bear for so long. Like, he's had to, like, it's been a curse. He's been shunned because of it from the Martian community, and it's led him down such a dark path. And now it can all be narrowed down into something as simple as a frequency. And it's like, I mean, and it's like it made me wonder, like, could that, I mean, obviously this is sci-fi, so they will kind of apply that to extraterrestrial stuff and all those things, but I mean, I haven't caught up with the field of neurology hugely, or like psychology hugely, so I don't know how accurate that stuff is in terms of real life science, but you know, like, I am wondering if scientists have actually used that kind of formula to study how, like, normal human brains work, as well, like seeing if, like, stuff like thought processes can be narrowed down to something as simple as, like, a simple frequency, like someone doing, like, even the simplest thought process, like the thought process is like running an errand or something like that, then compared to bigger stuff like actually trying to, like, mentally figure out equations and shit. But like obviously for large tasks, then it would probably be a bigger frequency or like a bigger, like, thought process to conduct. But either, I mean, it just made me wonder, like, surely for a lot of these things they'd need something to reference to in order for it to make sense. Like, sci-fi is sci-fi, obviously there are limits, and the limits of your imagination, but at the same time, it's like, when they write this stuff, and they actually make up the dialogue for this stuff, it for the most part, it still has to be based off of real life things, even if they do kind of, like, extend it a bit into more sci-fi area for the pleasure of, like, fantasy and whatnot. But, you know, they still have to base it off of something that actually exists, in order for it to make sense when we think about it. Like, instead of saying, oh, like, you know, particles from the other end of the universe and, like, atoms from this side and kaboosh and bam, magic and all that stuff like that, that wouldn't make sense. So surely they need some kind of, like, baseline to reference it in from what we know in real life, for people to actually be able to understand this and actually, like, know what the hell's going on, and also kind of take more of an interest in it if they have some basic idea of how this might work. But again, this just goes to show how good of a scientist Lena is, even if her methods in present time aren't always exactly ethical. And then we had Kara and William working together. So, I mean, my main issue was William kind of, like, William's kind of justification and like, kind of backstory in the last episode being too good to be true. So now we explored it a little more with his with his personal vendetta against Andrea Rojas and her family, after having lost his best friend to her family. So yes, I guess he could be a good guy. So I mean, again, I mean, he seems to have a lot more riding on this than we originally thought, and he doesn't seem to and as of yet, he doesn't seem to have any any purely like malicious agendas. He seems to be something. I mean, in this particular episode, he seemed to be like towards the from the middle to the end, he seemed to be riding more on his actual emotions than anything else. Like he seemed like once he got to Kara, and Kara allowed the DEO to like help him in investigating stuff, and he started to get more leads and he started to remember stuff. It seems like he started to let emotions cloud him more and more, and let emotions take control of him more and more. And you know, like, I think that just kind of shows how different he was when he was working alone compared to having someone else work with him. Like when he was alone, he just had to worry about himself. He didn't have to worry about anyone else getting hurt, but he also kept those things deep down. And he even said he actively tried to be an asshole to actually stop anyone from getting to know him or stopping anyone from getting too close to him, because then he wouldn't be tempted to vent or tell people about his history or tell people the truth about this stuff. But now Kara's here, he finally has someone to talk to. You know, I mean, it doesn't really seem like he's using her as like some kind of emotional vending machine or whatever, but at the same time, it's like he does finally have someone he can actually tell this stuff to, and find like as much as he's reluctant to do so because he's still concerned for her safety, he does still have someone who's actually around and willing to help. So that's something he never really anticipated, or something he never really let happen in the past. So yeah, but then in this episode, like, it made me wonder if Kara was jumping into this investigation head first, because she seemed pretty overly enthusiastic with actually helping William. I mean, she didn't justify it, saying that, you know, like if Andrea was worse than just a clickbaity kind of ad revenue driven kind of boss, and she actually was involved with criminal activities, then all the more reason and all the more urgency to try and actually get rid of her and get her to deliver the justice where it belongs. But at the same time, I don't know. It felt like she was running into this head fast, just a little bit. Like her personally, like, I mean, I'm not trying to judge her and like say that she shouldn't be helping William, or that she shouldn't really be doing any of this to help anyone. But I don't know. It just felt different from the Lex Luthor one. I mean, the Lex Luthor one that she drew comparison to, like that was more personal for her. But at the same time, the people around her knew the history behind Lex and Lena, and like they knew the gravity of the situation. With William, she's learning all this stuff for the first time, and she's being told all this information from William, who is arguably / unarguably like a third party source. Like, from him, anything can be biased. I mean, granted, when you lose your best friend to someone potentially involved in criminal circles, you can't really bias that stuff up. If you lose someone you love to that kind of a person, then you will, you know, be angry. You will be rightfully angry about it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know, like again, with the Lex stuff, it was a character they already knew. So like with that one, there was already history there that they referenced for the viewer's sake, but they knew what Lex was like, and that for that one, Kara was able to move at a pace she understood. But with this one, it's like, you know, she has no word, but she has no choice but to trust William on his word, and she has no reason to trust otherwise, since he came like forward to her about what was really happening before all of before all of this. So she's had a good enough amount of time to actually, you know, like process what's happening, and also keep this whole like spy stuff like undercover. So there's that. But I don't know. I'm just worried about what this what this investigation could lead to for Kara. Like, again, if the Rojas like criminal cycle is as big as William says, and as big as they think, then that stuff leads even bigger onto Leviathan. So Leviathan is eventually going to catch up on Kara's trail and the DEO's trail and everyone else. So that means everyone could potentially be in even more danger. But yeah, Leviathan. So that means then they were controlling Andrea as well. Like they were controlling thingy Lex, they sent Eve in to control Lex, and like she was acting under her orders, but then Lex failed with what they wanted him to do. So then this time but now it turns out that they had Andrea under their payroll as well, and then they sent Rip Roar in to do the whole ice cap melting thing, and that was some super sneaky stuff, just throwing a little bit of climate change in there sneakily with like melting the ice caps and everything. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Being Leviathan is the even bigger force at play here. They're the ones controlling everything. Literally, even the villains are puppets in this case. So like Leviathan is like the big megamind-sized brain of behind this season's big bad. But then Lena is the other one who's in trouble that they have to save. So yeah. But damn, but Kara, I think, I don't know, I personally, I feel like she needs to kind of, be able to assess the situation a little bit more, a little bit more kind of, what's the word, a little bit more sensibly, maybe, smartly, this doesn't sound like a word, intellectually just seems a bit too, on the nose, but yeah, a bit more sensibly, to assess it, and, to actually, instead of taking William's word for everything, I'm sure he has no reason to lie after having lost stuff, but again, emotional bias is a thing, he can, acting out of emotion, he can say other stuff, or he can kind of even in the interrogation room with Breathtaker, he just lost all control, and no one can blame him, obviously, he's lost a lot to this. He even said he's been cut off from friends and family and loved ones for 2 years because of this investigation, so it's understandable that he wants to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible, but I feel taking some time to investigate and Andrea would actually could potentially even lead her to figuring out stuff about Leviathan sooner as well, and actually allow her to actually assess what else there is to this organization. Because from William, she can only learn about what William's lost. She can't learn about what other lives Andrea has taken, what other deals, or what other just what else Andrea has been up to. And William has no idea likely has no idea about Leviathan either. So if she actually takes time to investigate Andrea on her own a little bit, she might actually figure out what other connections she has, what they all lead back to, and see, and eventually, maybe not straight away, but eventually lead that back into Leviathan and find out that they are the bigger force at play here. So doing some actual doing some reporting on her own terms and in her own time to actually find out what's what here and who's who. So just my own kind of personal theory. I figured in the next episode, if not in the next couple of episodes, that should be a plan of hers, just to figure out to look up some stuff in her own time, see what else has been going on behind the Rojas name. But yeah, that was that. And Kelly is a poor sweet little bean, and she needs protecting at all times. She was terrified watching Alex run into the heat, or the heat. The heat of crisis in National City, protecting people. I mean, that was a smart move as well. When the crane was falling, she just launched a little shieldy dome thing and just protected them. That was a badass move. That was pretty cool. But seeing Alex being so brave, but also being in such imminent danger, really brought really brought some trauma to her head. And then seeing the tidal waves on the news screen as well, brought some more tears out. So she now does have her own kind of trauma of almost watching her loved one die, or after already having lost her loved one on the front line of battle. So she needs help, and she needs protecting, and she needs her loved ones around her to assure her that things are going to be okay. So that's going to be a good thing to see in the coming ones. But her and Alex celebrating their their date anniversary, is that a thing? I mean, there are so many different anniversaries. There's the anniversary, which is obviously the 1 year one. There's the month anniversary, the week anniversary, I've heard. Happening after a few weeks and happening after a month or so. But the date anniversary, is that is that just another word for month anniversary? I mean, it's been a while since they started dating. kind of sort of been dating since the end of season 4. So I mean, I guess that they made it official at the beginning of season 5. So even though that's just like 5 episodes ago, so like how big is that really? I don't know. But either way, they did want to spend some time together. So she bought Alex the motorcycle jacket in matte black that Kara recommended to her based off of Pinterest. And Alex, even Alex wanted to share her thing with her, so share her motorbike riding with her. So she bought her a helmet. So it's great that they actually mashed together that well. Like Alex wanted to share her passion for motorcycle riding with Kelly, and Kelly wanted to, indulge her and like spoil her in more of her kind of private interests. Well, not really private interests, but one of her own personal interests, actually, like going around the city and on motorbike rides and all that sort of stuff. So buying her a jacket and getting a helmet in return. So that's pretty cool. And they had dinner at the DEO, and then a nice little candlelit wine kind of dinner. Don't know how that's really not how you hold a wine glass. But they had a nice candlelit wine kind of dinner at the end of the episode, so that was cool. And seeing Nia and Kelly as well, kind of getting their kind of friendship bonds together. So I mean, it is like from what I see on like Instagram and from Twitter and whatnot, Ozzy and Nicole, the actresses themselves, they are pretty damn close friends in real life. So seeing, I think it would actually be good to see that kind of friendship translated onto the screen as well, because I think there are characters that we don't really get to spend much time together with, besides from in certain aspects. And I mean, when it comes to a relationship, obviously you see those two specific characters interact more and more to actually, allow that relationship to blossom and flourish into more. But, seeing friendships like that being formed just out of like either coincidence or out of them two actually sharing something. So like, Kelly and Nia actually spending time together would be something fun to see, and so like something to actually allow their friendship to blossom and to see how well they get along and what kind of stuff they get up to as well. It would just add more chemistry into the mix of super friends we actually already have going on. So yeah, that'll be fun to see. And I mean, I don't know how much control the actors themselves have over the writing of their characters, if they can actually recommend stuff. But then if they actually if Ozzy and Nicole actually recommend stuff that they like activities they do in real life for Kelly and Alec, for Kelly, why do I keep saying Kelly and Alec, Kelly and Nia to do in the show? That'll be even more cool. They do kind of post some stuff about what they do, but like nothing huge. But regardless, seeing their friendship flourish is going to be awesome to see in the show. So looking forward to seeing how more of that is extended. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from that part. Looking forward to seeing how Kara and William go forth with this investigation. I think that confrontation scene with the Obsidian North contacts like him actually just shutting down the laptop and actually confronting her about Russell and everything else, like that one really caught me off guard. I was like, wait, are you really confronting her this early without Kara, without any further proof? Like I thought she was just going to call security and have him dragged out of the building or something, but no need for that, because it was all in his head. It was all behind the goggles, the contact lenses, and the way they put on the contact lenses really kind of it doesn't freak me out. It just really confuses me, like, because obviously like with the actual contact lenses, you'd have to actually open your eye up and then put them in and then move them about a bit and then move your eye about a bit, like that kind of stuff. But then the way they put them out, it's just like. It literally just like you just spread them over your eyes in midair, and then it just gives you different colored eyes, and it makes you see all this stuff around you. So, man, if I think if contact lenses in real life worked out that way, then people would be a lot less afraid of actually putting them on. Because I think the main fear that I know of that people have about contact lenses is actually having to touch your eye and put stuff on your eye, like that kind of stuff. I mean, it freaks me out, but I've been considering it for a long time. So. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, because I mean, glasses, I mean, they're alright, but it's just not really the best. And I mean, you can probably see, but I have like a little bruise on my nose bridge, and that's from, I think, just before the age of 10, I think, because like that's when like the first time I ever wore glasses, they had the little plastic little things on the nose bridge, like where you plant them in, and I was paranoid and afraid of my glasses slipping down my nose and falling off. So what I used to do is push them as hard as I could into my nose to make sure that they stayed there, and that those two bruises are the result of said paranoia. So yeah, over the years I've had very many different kind of glass frame designs, some with rubber tips, some without. So yeah, I've been, I think it's been a couple of years now, I've been considering contacts, but I've never really gone through with it or researched it enough to actually reach a solid conclusion. But yeah, I mean, hey, if contacts ever worked like that, just like, then I would have gotten them a long time ago. I would have gotten them so long ago. But I mean, hey, one day technology may be that good where you just have them in the tips of your fingers and then you just, and then just that's just it. But we will see how much more Kara and William further investigate Andrea, and how much further they get in actually discovering what's left. But I do think it will be good for her to actually take some time to investigate Andrea on her own, using her own journalistic techniques, and see what's what, and then maybe that way she might even get somewhat closer to discovering Leviathan as the true kind of conspirators behind all of this. But we'll see how that goes, and seeing more of Lena, seeing what Lena actually has in store for Malefic, because she's not going to kill him. That would, again, like that would take away from what her plan really is. But I mean, if it really is just captivity and mind control, then that's just going to be almost as bad, just as bad, pretty much, as killing him. But then her actually, she successfully achieved the mind control element of this stuff. She's matched that frequency. She's already got that, so she's that much closer to completing Project Do No Harm. So seeing how soon she actually puts this all into action is going to be an interesting thing to see unfold. And seeing how Andrea, like what Andrea's connection is to Leviathan and what she's actually doing for them, like what, like, I mean, because then without a doubt they could be the ones who gave her the resources maybe to actually start up Obsidian North and actually start up these contact lens AI things, and maybe they themselves want an army of mindless zombies to do their bidding or something. But we'll see what her connection is to Obsidian North soon enough. And see how Kelly and Nia and Alex all get on with their friendships and their relationships and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have from this episode. So that was Supergirl Season 5, Episode 5, titled Dangerous Liaisons. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment or either the episode on what you think is coming up next in Supergirl. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.